Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Mike with Uncle Dad's Apocalypse Garage. On today's episode, we're continuing to work on the road pig. We're going to get the engine bay cleaned up, so stay tuned. All right, guys, we're going to give you a quick update real quick. Probably seen the last video where we did the Craigslist rebuild on this. Part 1 and 2, we got it all cleaned up, replaced some pieces and parts. It's looking real fabulous. And then I went ahead and took a little time, cleaned up the transmission. This transmission is recently rebuilt. And so anyways, we're going to put it back in all nice and shiny. And we're also been working on the radiator support. Cross member or whatever we call it. So getting it all cleaned up. I'm going to throw it back in too, because like I said, everything on the engine bay portion of the truck is just going to be like a big shiny diamond sitting in a turd. So like I said, walking out here to the road pig, again 89 Suburban. It was a donor truck at one point for the Punisher build. This used to be a 3/4 ton vehicle. But I did axle swaps with the Punisher, stowed the 3/4 ton axles. This has still got 1/2 ton axles on it now. So we're putting a 350 back in it, which came out of it actually, and it was a TBI. Did a carb swap on that. And let's see here, the 700 R4 transmission is going back in this. So it'll be a little bit easier on gas. So like I said, what we're gonna do is, and we're backing up a little bit, we're trying to get all this ready for November. There's a Mad Max festival in Gadsden, Alabama. It's called Aftermath. You guys ought to go check out their website. It's just a fun time. So anyways, November, I think like the second weekend or the second week of November, if I'm not mistaken, I need to look at the dates. I think the 6th, 7th, and 8th or something like that, the weekend before Veterans Day. So anyways, but that's the goal. We're trying to get this thing ready, running, wasted out a little bit. And I'm not going to get it complete like I want it, but it should be pretty good to take down there and represent the Uncle Dad's Apocalypse Garage. All right, but anyway, so what we're doing here, we're going to get inside the engine bay here in a second. We're going to pressure wash it. I'm going to take all the little accessories off of it, you know, little containers, the original jack. Just get in here, clean it up, and then we're going to paint it. Get the frame all cleaned up, whatever, get it all painted to a point where, you know, we can shove the engine back in here, and then go from there. Most of that wiring harness, once the motor gets back in, I'm going to have it disappear, because again, a lot of that is electronics with the OTBI, and so it's not going to be needed. We're going to be running on basic, you know, just the basic bare minimum stuff to get this motor running. So again, make it apocalypse proof if at all possible. So there'll be a few little repairs in here. I'm not going to replace the fender wells and stuff like that. I'm probably going to slap some license plates over it, maybe cut the rust out, and fabricate some license plate patches. That'll give it a little bit more of the aesthetic. And like I said, just a general cleanup in here. All right, so that's what we're doing. Stay tuned. All right, guys, going in here real quick. We may have to do a little repair here. This fender guard is not even attached. I might have an old fender, I hope, inner fender from the other build. I'll see if I've got that, because that's just a little bit too much. Again, if I'm trying to keep the engine bay kind of clean, that's going to be a lot of water and debris flying up in here and just making things nasty. This other one's not too bad. I think we can live with it. But little things like that little fuse block I'm going to take out and probably reposition. Like I said, this has got some wiring cobbled in that I'm not for sure what it all goes to. So we'll have to dig into that. And let's see, what else? Oh, I've also got a new steering knuckle that's going to replace that old rack joint there. So that's that'll be nice to kind of firm the steering up a little bit. But anyway, we're still digging at it. I'm gonna have to get that little fuse block off here, go down and see if I can find a fender. Hopefully I've got the driver's side. That'd be awesome. All right. All right, guys, we're going to give her a little pre-soak here, get everything wet down. Then we're going to spray it down with some degreaser and stuff. So guys, what we're going to do, I got a little concoction of the old Purple Power here. They're not a sponsor or anything like that, but you know, Purple Power, if you're watching, Uncle Daddy appreciates you. Then I got my concoctions of degreasers. So it's proprietary. If you're interested, bloop it down there in the comment section, and you know, for a small fee, I might send it to you. But anyways, so we're going to spray this down real quick and let her soak in good, and pressure wash it again. All right, guys, taking you in here real quick. Like I said before, again, the reason I'm so OCD on some stuff is when I get in here, I find things that are a problem. That motor mount is busted. So I think I've got a spare one of those off the old build. So we'll swap that out real fast. And again, it's just little insurances that, you know, make the project that much better. I did not find a fender. So what I'm going to do is try to reuse this. I'm going to attach that back up there, and in true Wasteland fashion, strap it up with some strapping metal. You know what I'm talking about. Maybe slap maybe even do a license plate over there also. But I'll get that all kind of patched back together once I get it painted. We'll let this thing dry out a little bit, see if I've got that motor mount, and we'll get that swapped out real fast. And like I said, it's looking pretty good. Zoom out real fast. There you go, engine bay. All right, guys, so I got the final spray down. We're just letting her dry up here real good before we start slapping the paint on it, and kind of show you a little bit. That's all the junk that I pulled out of it, miscellaneous wires and things that are not being used. So like I said, we'll get after it here, put spray her down, spray paint it. Like I said, I didn't find, I think I've said in the last clip, I needed to replace that motor mount. I did not find that motor mount, so I'm gonna have to buy one. They're only 13 bucks. Again, true Motorhead fashion. Since I was in here, good insurance, let's go ahead and just replace them. So it is what it is. Dependability, reliability. All right, so there you go. Next clip you'll see, hopefully this thing will be all black inside. All right. Well, guys, I think it looks pretty good for what it is. Like I said, other than that big old mess of wires in there, I don't like that, but we'll get that taken care of. That's pretty nasty looking. But anyways, we're gonna let that set up a little bit. We're gonna give it another, sorry about shaking the camera. We'll let that set up for a second and give her another coat. And that's pretty much gonna be the engine compartment for the most part. We'll get in there and we'll, like I said, over here on the fender well, where all that rust is, we're gonna cut that out. We'll slap some license plates in there. There's a little spot down here. We'll cut that spot out. And then up here along the fender well, where it's real loose, like I said, it's barely hanging on for dear life. So we're gonna take some license plates or something and some strapping, and we'll strap that up there against that, so that way it'll be halfway sturdy and not flopping going down the road. So, like I said, I think all in all, it looks pretty good for what it is. You know, it dresses the engine bay up pretty good, gives me nice clean surfaces to work with, and then we'll get after it. So, all right, here we go. All right, guys, once again, in the interest of saving a few dollars, this is the old battery tray that comes off the Suburban there. I am going to sand it down a little bit. Sorry, my filming is terrible. Sanded it down with a wire wheel, pretty good enough, I guess, if that's a word. Anyways, we're gonna hit it with some Rust-Oleum and you know, call it good. So, like I said, I got the majority of stuff. I'm still gonna hit a little bit more of it. A couple of them bad spots, I guess. But anyways, again, trying to save a dime. So I found the cross member here, and we're gonna rebuild it real quick. So stay tuned for that. And our being brand new. So yeah, getting her cleaned up, saving a penny. Amazing what a little bit of elbow grease and a wire wheel can do to a piece of aluminum. So I wanted to show you guys before I got too far on that. That's going to be pretty amazing transformation. Shiny and chrome. All right, guys, I think the last clip said I was working on this cross member here, the transmission support. So I've got her all cleaned up. You know what's going to happen next. Slap a coat of paint on it, make it shiny. Okie dokie. Well, guys, we'll take you in here again, real quick. Show you the rust repairs that I did. You guys remember that there was a big old rusty spot there, so put a new fender on it right there. Over here, there was a little bit more rust, and you guys remember this fender here was flopping, so we went ahead and made it some bracketry, and I think that turned out pretty cool. So that ain't going nowhere now. I can shake it now. It's pretty daggone sturdy, unlike it was before. So I like how that turned out. I think that turned out pretty cool. So anyways, so yeah, there you go, body work done. Well, I found a small leak in the fuel line. So yeah, there's that. I guess we'll be getting some fuel line. Fuel filter. All right, guys, back real quick again. I know that, you know, at least 4 of you guys out there out of my 100 subscribers are like, man, why does he keep going through all this stuff to make a rat rod, wasteland vehicle, whatever you want to call it? And I've said it a couple times that, you know, I want stuff to be mechanically sound. I don't want to be out there on the road and it falls apart on me or have issues. So, prime example one more time. You know, I just showed the clip about the fuel line leak. Well, I was kind of halfway joking until I found this one piece here. And if you look really close, you flip it over, right there. That is a mouth-size bite right there, I suppose. So again, this is why when I'm building rigs, mechanically sound. I don't care what it looks like. It's going to look like a big turd going down the road, but it's going to be mechanically sound, and that's kind of the whole point. Anyways, All right, I thought you guys would kind of be interested in that one more time. So there it is. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to take you back up underneath the rig here. You guys know that I've got this fuel pump that I'm going to put in. It's pretty bad filming, sorry. And I got me a piece of template here. I'm going to go up underneath and see if I can find me a good spot to mount my fuel pump. Filter and a shutoff valve kind of real close to the tank. With these electric fuel pumps, you're wanting to make sure that they're pushing more than they're sucking. So there you go. So here we are up underneath the rig, and according to this right here, you got in and out. So from what I've been told, it doesn't matter if this is mounted, you know, like this or upside down, just as long as it's, you know, the inlet's going, you know, the way it's supposed to, and the outlet's going up towards the motor. So, but I'm looking to do something pretty much like that right there. And then mount the fuel filter. See if I can find it. Put a fuel filter in front of it, and we'll wire it up, or not wire it up, but we'll plumb it up going there. What I'm going to do is make a plate here and weld it on, so I have a nice surface that I can mount the fuel pump and the fuel filter to. Okay. All right, guys, we are going to call it a wrap on this little video. Basically, we were just doing the engine prep on the Road Pig. So, yeah, we're going to continue working on it, but I think this is a good stopping point. We got her pulled into the shop here. Next thing we're going to do is stab this motor and transmission in it. We got a few other things I want to do before that, actually. We're going to work on the fuel tank system, or fuel system. Anyway, yeah, we're going to do that. So I'll film a little bit of that there, and then that might be a little separate video because I'm doing quite a few things with the fuel system, and then we'll go from there. So anyway, hope you guys are liking this content. Like I said, we're getting ready for Aftermath. Truck's coming along good. So if you like this, give me a like, subscribe, and share. Comment, you know, chat me up a little bit. You know, I want to see what everybody else's projects look like out there. It don't have to be a rat rod, you know, wasteland vehicle or anything like that. It just cars in general, man. We got to keep these things on the road. Anyways, all right, I'm gonna get out of here. Hope you guys enjoy this video. So this is Mike with Uncle Dad's Apocalypse Garage. See you in the Wasteland.